This is your beloved Minister Austin Smith with ZMR Radio on the Wake Up Call. Wake up. Wake up. It's high time. All right, we do always rise, giving all the kabod and all the kabod to the Most High Yah through his being Yahushua HaMashiach. Truly thankful. Feel like now I've already been kind of going. Go ahead and get me that Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. Yeah, I want to see if we can lead the people with something. Let's see if we can do a lot with a little. Listen to the book.
For whatever Nikatab before, Nikatab to Lamadas.
For whatever was written aforetime was written to Lamadas to teach us. So what?
So that through endurance and through the Nakumath of the Ketubim, we might have Tikva.
And this is something that we talk about all the time. And the reality of it is, a lot of times we things are good that we hear and that we read through the bar, but once we get into a situation, it's a matter of sometimes we'll forget because we get so stuck in the situation that we don't look at, which is mainly we were just talking about. We don't look at the signs and the lessons he's trying to give us and those opportunities he gives us to see in situations. Matter of fact, get me Daniel chapter 3 and 1. I was changing the air filters at my mother-in-law's house the other day, and something came to mind. But something she actually, I don't know if that's what she was finna say, or she tried to say something a little bit, but let's see. Let's see if we can't make it make sense to everybody. Listen to the book. Daniel, they call it the book of Daniel. Listen.
Nebuchadnezzar the Malak made an image of gold, the height of which was 60 cubits, and its width 6 cubits. He set it up on the plain of Dura in the province of Babel. Then Nebuchadnezzar the Malak shalak to assemble the satraps, the prefects, and the governors, the counselors, the treasurers, the shaphatim, the magistrates, and all the sarim of the provinces to come to the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the Malak had set up. Then the satraps, the prefects, and the governors, the counselors, the treasurers, the shaphatim, the magistrates, and all the sari of the province were assembled for the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the Malak had set up.
All the rulers were there. That's what the Shah is. That's the ruler. So he called all the rulers, all the nobles, all the shaphatim, the judges. He called everybody to come and see the dedication of this idol that I done built. Come on.
And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then the herald cried with strength, to you it is commanded, O people, Goim and languages, that at the time you shama the call of the horn, flute, the lyre, trigon, psaltery, bagpipe, and all kinds of ZMR, you fall down and shakah the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the Malak had set up.
You know what? Amazingly enough, what he wanted them to do is he wanted everybody to come out to see the image. And he said that once you hear this sound, I want everybody to go down and pa'ar yourself. Bow yourself down and pa'ar the idol, which is to beautify the idol, which is to worship the idol. Amazingly enough, now what he was trying to get them to do was that he was trying to get them to give the servants and this and give themselves to something that was of no value because it was an idol. And we know that the idol is nothing. And yet the reality is what he wanted them to do to that idol is what we need to do with Yahuah. When we have an opportunity to hear the word, we need to be making sure that we're properly reacting to what we hear. We need to make sure that when the word comes, that we bow ourselves down and paw his shem, because truly he's worthy. So the concept of what he wanted them to do, I can't fight the concept. I'm just fighting who they were doing it to. That's even a lot of religions. We talked about that the other day. A lot of religions that they got out here, I wouldn't necessarily condemn them for their servitude of it, or for the mindset to have servitude, but it's more so who you giving that obedience to, who you making obedience to. Come on.
But whoever does not fall down in shakah, at that moment they shall be thrown into the midst of a furnace of blazing fire.
The same thing. What you think Yahuah gonna do to people that don't bow down when you hear his word? You're gonna do the exact same thing. He gonna throw you into the pit, the lake that burning with fire. He said he was gonna burn all of them up. All of the wicked gonna be turned to Sheol, and all the nations that forget Elohim. Because you supposed to, when you have opportunity to hear the word, that's the chance that I need to immediately be changing. I need to immediately be changed and transformed based upon what I'm hearing. I need to make sure that when I hear the word and the word tells me to do something, I immediately react to it. He's trying to get them to understand immediately when you come, immediately when you hear the sound, you need to change. That's why Yahuah told the day you hear my voice, do what? As soon as you hear it, change that fast. Well, no matter what I'm doing, I know, okay, when you hear this sound, I got to bow down. So once I hear the word of Yahuah, regardless of what I'm doing, where I'm at, I need to be making necessary changes. Come on.
Therefore, at that time, when all the arms Shama, the call of the horn, flute, the lyre, the harp, the psaltery, and all kinds of ZMR, all the peoples, Goim, and the tongues fell down and shakah the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the Malak had set up.
The people heard and they did exactly what he told them to do. Come on.
Therefore, at that time, Anashim, Kasdim came forward and brought charges against the Yahudim. They responded and said to Nebuchadnezzar the Malak, O Malak, Kai alone.
Malak, live forever.
You, O Malak, have made a decree that every Ish who Shama the call of the horn, flute, lyre, trigon, psaltery, and bagpipe, and all kinds of ZMR, is to fall down and shakah the golden image. But whoever does not fall down and shakah shall be cast into the midst of a furnace of blazing fire. There are Anashim, Yahudim, whom you have set them over the business of the province of Babel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These Anashim, O Malak, do not pay attention to you. They do not serve your mighty ones, nor shakah the golden image which you have set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in rage and anger, gave orders to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then these Anashim were brought before the Malak.
And so the thing that you got to look at, everybody else, they fell down and did it because the Malak said to do it. That was the Malak's commandment, was to bow down and worship this idol. So naturally, when I see somebody not doing it, I'm saying, so not only are you not bowing down to the idol for whatever reason you have, but you're disobeying the Malak. The ruler of the people has commanded and told us what we need to do. Why would I not be listening to it? And the thing that works in is who you allow to rule over you. That's the same thing with sin. If sin tells me to go out and do something, I'm doing it because my Malak has told me to do it. So now I have to look at who is my Malak. Right. Who am I the Adon of? Am I the Adon of the world, or is Yahuah ruling over me through the word? That's the whole thing we gotta look at. Even when you look at when they came into, okay, who you gonna have, Yahusha or Barabbas? How did they end up coming to one consensus? The Rosh Kohanim and the elders told them that. So they, because of the rulers of the people, called them the error. And they that are led of them are what? You ain't gonna believe it. As long as I keep allowing sin to roll over me and lead me and tell me what I need to do, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna be destroyed because it can't help me. And the thing is you can't say I'm not obedient to my ruler. It's all about who I'm letting rule over me. Come on.
Nebuchadnezzar responded and said to them, Is it a mot, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you do not serve my mighty ones, nor shakah the golden image that I have set up? Now, if you are ready at the moment that you Shama the call of the horn, flute, lyre, trigon, psaltery, and bagpipe, and all kinds of ZMR, to fall down and shakah the image that I have made. But if you do not shakah, in that moment you shall be cast into the midst of a furnace of blazing fire. And what mighty one is there who can deliver you out of my yard? He
said, and what mighty one is there that can deliver you out of my hand? That's what we were looking for. The same thing that he's asking them, but the same thing we're looking for. We're looking for a mighty one to come and deliver us out of the hands of sin. Sin had held us captive for so long, and we had been yielding to the commands and everything that sin told us to do. So now we needed somebody to say, oh, you know what? I can deliver you from that. You don't have to be the servant of that. Let's see how it worked for them.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the Malak, O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you on this matter. If it be so, our all whom we serve is able to deliver us from the furnace of blazing fire.
And that's a confidence that you got to have in Yahuah, is that despite whatever situations come against me, that I know he's able to deliver me. I have to have the understanding of knowing through, and you know, the thing that we have to look at, they wouldn't have just said that for no reason. They would know these things based off of two things, based off of personal experience or the experience of others. That's the whole purpose for why he gave us the word. So whatsoever things for what?
Written aforetime.
Written aforetime, because not everything that you go through, you're going to have personal experience with. It's something that you might be able to say through the writings. Guess what? He might have done this for me per se, but I seen he done it for somebody else through the writings. And so when I get an opportunity to read the writing, you know what I say? Let it work on me. I say, let the same thing that you did for them, let it fall just even so for me.
That's right.
You gave them deliverance. You kept them. Let me believe, based upon the things that I've learned through the writings, that you do the same thing for me. Yes, because I'm able to understand the demonstration of your power. That's the whole thing that we got through the word. We've got a chance to be able to see the destruction power that he's given against those who have gone contrary to him. And we've been able to see the keeping power, the saving power, the redemption power, all these things that he's done for those who yield to him, those who bow down when they hear the word, those who make the necessary changes when the word comes. Come on. Matter of fact, let's speed up a little bit. We're going to go a little bit fast for me, so follow me if you will. I keep Chris, get me Yahuah chapter, give me Yahuah Matter of fact, get 16 and 32, and then we'll roll over to the 17th chapter. Come on, Big Lee, listen to the book.
And he shall deliver us out of your yard, O Malak. And if not, let it be known to you, O Malak, that we shall not serve your mighty ones, nor shakar the golden image that you have set up.
This is the thing they told him. They said, you know what we'll do? We're going to give our servitude to him because we know he can deliver us out of your hand. And even if he don't do it, we still know he's able. That's the confidence because you know what? I looked at based upon what I seen him do with other people, the deliverance that he's given to other people, I'm confident that he has the power to deliver me out of this situation. That's a relationship I have. That's why Amunah comes from hearing the word. You can't just have Amunah based upon nothing. I can't just wake up and say, you know what? I just believe something today. Based upon what? Based upon what? That's why it has to come by hearing. Amunah come by hearing. And what you got to hear? The word of Elohim. That's the whole purpose of why we keep coming in and hearing the word so that we can build our Amunah. So when situations and things come against us, when sin tries to get us to yield to certain things, what's going to get me not to give into it? Based upon what I got through the word. That's the whole purpose why we're reading. Come on, listen.
Then Nebuchadnezzar was filled with wrath, and his facial expression was altered toward Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He answered by giving orders to heat the furnace 7 times more than it was usual to heat it.
That's how hot his anger was. His anger was so hot, he said, you know what, make the fire even hotter. I don't even know how you make fire hotter than what it already is, but hey, let's do it. Come on.
He commanded mighty Anashim of valor who were in his army to tie up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to cast them into the furnace of blazing fire. Then these Anashim were tied up in their trousers, their coats, their caps, and their other clothes, and were cast into the midst of the furnace of blazing fire.
So not only am I going to burn them up, burn them up and everything they got. Burn them up and burn the stuff up with them. Come on.
Thereupon, because the Malak command was urgent and the furnace was exceedingly hot, the flame of the fire slew them, those Anashim who carried up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Matter of fact, you know, I said something a second ago, but actually it make more sense. The way that you make fire even hotter, you put more fuel in it. That's why, you know what, not only so in order to build the fire, we got to start it off with burning something. Then in order to make it hotter, let's throw more stuff in it. Now I'm going to increase it so much, I'm going to put you in all your stuff in it. Now how hot is the fire? That's why Yahuah told you he was going to cast all the Rosha into the lake of fire. Not only them, but all their stuff. You're going to be burnt up. That's why even the things that we try to hold on to, you could try to hold on to it, but I'm going to fuel the fire with it. That's why he told you that Sheol enlarging himself. You know why? Because I'm constantly fueling it with the Rosha. I'm constantly spreading this stuff out. The fire's getting larger and larger based upon the stuff that you do and the stuff that you try to hold on to. Come on.
But these 3 unashamed, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound into the midst of the furnace of blazing fire. Then Nebuchadnezzar the Malak was astounded, and he came up in haste. He answered and said to his high officials, was it not 3 unashamed we cast bound into the midst of the fire? They replied to the Malak, certainly, O Malak. He answered and said, look, I see 4 unashamed loosed and halak in the midst of the fire, and there is not an injury among them. And the appearance of the 4th is like a bin of Elohim.
He said, if you look at it and see, you'll see we cast 3 people into the fire, and yet and still we look into it, it's like it's 4 people. And not even that. That's not even it alone, but also it looked like ain't none of them harmed. Come on. That's the thing that we got to look at. Yes, some situation that we're going to have to go through, we're going to have to face, but don't you know that based upon what he's done before, he can still keep us even in the midst of them situations? If he kept them, why couldn't he do the same thing for me? Don't you know that all that did is give us a chance to be able to experience and be able to get a glimpse of his power, his great power? Why am I going to call him Elohim, Elion, the Most High? Based upon what? I got to see your power. Based upon me seeing a demonstration of what you do, that gives me a chance to be able to understand who you are. How powerful is he? I don't know unless I see him work for me. That's the same thing, one of the things that preacher was talking about yesterday. That's why we tell our kids about our experiences. Even when they came out of Mizraim, he said it's going to come a day that your kids are going to say what? They're going to say, what is this? And then you're going to tell them, well, this is what Yahuah did for us. Yahuah brought us out. You know why? Because that gives them a chance to understand, okay, well, I don't just believe on him. I'm not going to wait to believe on him until he delivered me. Based upon me knowing what he did for you, I believe on him. But I don't just see him in every situation, but I see the deliverance that he worked through you. And so that right there is a testimony. That's why we're supposed to be living testimony, living epistles. Read amongst who? Read amongst all men, so that way they all get a chance to understand I see what he did for you. I've seen the situation you had to go through, and I saw how you came out. That's why a lot of times when we going through and we faint in the midst of the situation, you know what it looked like? It looked like he can't do what he said he would do.
Right.
It looked like he cast into the fire. Sin had a hold on us and we couldn't deliver, and we couldn't be delivered by him.
Right.
We give people a chance, an opportunity to speak reproachfully against him. That's why he said his name was blasphemed amongst the Gentiles because of you, because of what they see you do. But based on what they see you do and based on how they see you faint in the midst of situations, it looked like I can't deliver. That's why, if anything, it's a benefit for us to make sure that we hold to what he told us to do, because we just might not know. Somebody might be looking for us to be a witness. That's why I'm looking to be a witness. That's why he told you, let the redeemed of Yahuah do what?
Say so.
Why would you be saying something? So that way, unashamed, that way men and women can be able to know and take note of the fact that he did it. He kept you. Just like you thought he was going to keep you, he kept you. That's the only way they're going to take on and believe on him. Come on. Matter of fact, that's why he gave us Yahusha. Had it not been for all the work that Yahusha did, that way he said, consider Yahusha when do such what? Contradictions and sinners. And what happened? Lest you go real and faint in your mind. And we're all over. But nonetheless, but the thing is it's still all work together. Ain't how I read exactly, but it all work together. That's the thing that we had to look at. We had to look at Yahusha getting so many things coming against him for us to be able to see, okay, well, guess what? Through all the things that he suffered, through all the things he went through, he didn't faint, and Yahuah redeemed him just like he said he would. So based upon me seeing how he worked for Yahusha, that gave me a chance to say, you know what? If I do the same things and pattern myself after Yahusha, guess what'll happen? He'll do the same thing for me. Otherwise, we're just wasting time. If his deliverance only works for them when he brought them out of Mizraim, if his getting Yahusha up from the ground only works for Yahusha, then we are all men most miserable. Right. If only in this life we have our hope, then what are we?
Most miserable.
I'm most miserable because what's happening in this life? I'm suffering, I'm going through, I got bills coming, I got problems with my kids, problems with my wife, problems at my job. You're surrounded with so many different situations. So many times your fire's been increased. Your fire get hotter and hotter and hotter. Whether it's your wife, whether it's your husband, whether it's your kids, whether it's your job, whether it's your bills, whatever it is you got, whether it's your family, your fires keep getting hotter and hotter. And if you don't have your mind set on him, you're going to faint and be consumed in the midst of the fire. He threw people in there, and guess what happened? They saw a fourth. And then if you keep reading, who did he say the fourth one looked like? Looked like the Son of Man. And you know what he told? He said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I should do what? Because what? We got to have him with us. Don't you know that if we don't have a relationship with him, then when we go through situations, why wouldn't we faint? I'm only holding on based upon my relationship, based upon me having an understanding of his word and knowing that he'll work for me. That's why no matter what I go through, if I keep holding on to him, I can't faint. That's why when preachers say, he's like, you know what, I can't lose. That's the reality of it. Regardless of whatever it is that happened against me, if he be with me, I really cannot lose. And that's the thing. That's something that's easy to say when you ain't in the midst of it. But when you can literally be in the midst of the situation and look at it and say, you know what, I still can't lose. I still can't lose because he's with me. Right. Don't you realize that they had all that amunah, that belief, that faith in him, but then when they got in the fire, their faith gave up. Guess what would happen? They'd have been consumed. I'm in the midst of the time where the man say, you know what, I'm going to throw you in the fire. And I'm going to still say, you know what, well, I know you will deliver me. I got more confidence in him than I got in you. You call yourself the Malak, right? Well, he the Malak of Malakim. He the ruler of rulers. You an Adon? He the Adon of Adanim. He the Lord of lords, as they say. That's why we had to look at him and see his great power. So that way when situations come against me, I know he's bigger than that. It's, you know what how people say things like, it's bigger than me. Nothing's bigger than him. He's bigger than all. Come on.
Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the door of the furnace of blazing fire. He responded and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, Abadim of the Most High, Elohim, and come forth and come here.
He said, what did he tell them they were? He called their name, and what did he say they were?
Abadim of the Most High, Elohim.
What people say when they see you? What they say? They call you, who they say you the servant of? He would only call them that based upon, I told you to bow down to me, and you held so much to who you believe in that you didn't do it. Even to the point of going through, even to the point of suffering, and you still didn't waver. So now I'm saying, you know what, well, the servants of the Most High? Yeah. Are y'all in there? Y'all okay? Come on, let's see what happened.
And come forth and come here.
He said, come forth.
Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out of the midst of the fire.
Matter of fact, amazingly enough, in the 12th chapter of the book of Yahuah, guess what happened with Lazarus? Lazarus was dead. And you know, matter of fact, when Lazarus was moved, guess who cried? Yahushua. So what kind of man would he have been? What kind of man would Lazarus have been? He'd have been a Rosha man? Why would Yahushua have had such a greater heart for this wicked man?
Right.
He wouldn't have had it. So we'd have had to know based upon his lifestyle, based upon us knowing how Yahushua felt about him. Based upon even the people around, they said, Adon, had you not left, he wouldn't have even died. Matter of fact, amazingly enough, they told him, we ain't gonna have the time. We'll go all over the place, but how do Yahuwah? In the 12th chapter of the book of Yahuwah, when Lazarus was dead, when Lazarus was sick, Yahushua was there, and he went off. He went off for a little bit of time, and Lazarus ended up dying and him being gone. And they kept crying. They said, you know what? Adon, Master Yahushua, had you not left, he wouldn't have died. Don't you know, had Yahushua not been there with them, they would have died? But because he was there with them, they did not die. Don't you know that if Yahuwah don't be with us, we'll die and we'll be consumed? That's why we need to always have him with us. Then he told you, can two walk together except what? Except they be agreed. So that means the only way that I can have him to be with me is to do what? It's for him to be agreeing with my lifestyle, to be in agreement with what I do. And the only way for him to agree with me, I got to agree with him. Now, how do I agree with him? I agree with him because when I hear the sound, I bow down and I start to shakah him. I worship him. When his word tells me to do something, I change and I do what he told me to do. Immediately when I hear the sound, I stop. I'm not bowing down at the sound of the music of the Malak. Right. I'm bowing down to the sound of the word of the Most High, right. the mighty Malak, the emperor of emperors, the Adon of Adonim. Yeah. Come on.
The satraps, the prefects, the governors, and the Malak, high officials gathered around and saw these unashamed, on whose bodies the fire had no power.
The fire didn't have no power against their bodies. Come on.
And the hair of their head was not scorched. Nor were their trousers damaged, nor had the smell of fire clung on them.
The smell of fire wasn't even on them. That meant that everything I've been through, I don't look like what I've been through. You know how many times you be in a situation and you look so depressed, you look so beat down because you're in the midst of something? Yeah. Guess what happened to them? They came out of the suffering. They don't even look like they've been through nothing. Right. You know why? Because my confidence has been in him the whole time. Right. Because though I'm in this situation isn't my end all be all.
That's right.
I know that I serve and I believe in something higher than this.
Yeah.
The reason why we faint and we falter, the reason why we look like so sad and so beat down in the midst of stuff, I just want to get myself together. It's so hard on me. You know why? Because you don't really have no amunah. If you really had the amunah in him, you would trust in him despite what you're going through. If you really get to a point where I truly believe in him, this won't even matter to me. And then when I come out of it, guess what happened? I won't even look like I've been through nothing because my trust has been in him the whole time. You think because they were in the fire, they didn't have to look at it. Guess what? I got to look at all the flames. I got to look at all these signs and things going on around the midst of me. But through my belief in him, he delivered me out of it. That meant that even when I'm in the midst of so many wicked people, guess what I got to do? Still have my amunah in him. I got to still be looking to him despite whatever's going on around me. Jump over, give me that 16th chapter of the book of Yahuwah. What I told you, 16 to 32?
32, yes, sir.
Matter of fact, before I get that, Lee, get me Yahuwah chapter 17. Give me 17 and 1. We'll start there. Matter of fact, Lee, Chris, you might be quicker. Give me Yahuwah 17 and 1. Whoever can get it the fastest, throw it in the air, go catch it. Listen to the book.
Yahushua spoke these things, then he lifted up his toward Shamayim and said, Abi, the hour has come. Pa'ar your being, so that your being may also pa'ar you. Just as you have given him authority over all basar, so that he may give alam kayi to all those whom you have given him.
You ain't gonna believe it. How would the Malak be able to tell the people what they need to do, who they need to bow down to? Because he had authority. He had authority based on his position. Now Yahusha's being able to let you know, guess what? I have authority based on a position that's been given to me of the Father. And now guess what? Not only if the Malak can cast them into the fire, that they can die, then guess what? Those that I don't have cast into the fire, guess what happened to them? They live. So I have the power to give life to those under my hand. To all those that you're giving me, I got power to either kill them or save their life. Come on.
This is alam kayi to da'ath you, that you alone are Elohim, and Yahuwah, and Yahushua HaMashiach, whom you have shalak.
The word is so beautiful. I'm telling you, we can go all over the place because it just makes so much sense as you're reading it and as you're understanding how do Yahuwah for how he allows stuff to move. This is what you got to look at. Read that again for me, IQ Chris.
Yes, sir. This is alam kayi.
This is who?
Alam kayi.
This is life everlasting. To do what?
To know you.
To know him.
That you alone are Elohim.
Guess what the Malak was trying to get them to believe? Guess what? It's life to know the idol I got. If you know the idol I got, you'll get life. But that's a strange, I'm not going to bow down to that. I'm going to serve the one that I know. So guess what? He thought he was going to be able to cast him into the fire. But guess what? Based upon my belief and based upon him being true and really doing what he said he'll do, nah, I still get life. You know what? The thing that you thought was going to kill me, it can't kill me. You know why? Because you don't have no power over me. I give my servitude to the one that's got all power.
Right.
That's why we got to hold to him in the midst of situations.
Right.
Come on.
And Yahushua HaMashiach.
Matter of fact, then when he came out, when he came to the door, guess what he called them? The servants of the Most High. Because you know why? Because you still got life. So clearly you got to be a servant of the Most High. Because it's eternal life to know him. Even Yahushua HaMashiach, whom he sent. And you ain't going to believe it. You think Yahuwah was the one that was in the fire with them?
No, sir.
No, that was the Son of Man. They were able to see a similitude of Yahushua. Yeah. That's the same thing we got to have for us. We want Yahuwah to be with us. That's through us having Yahushua. And Yahushua, you ain't going to believe who he was. He was the Word. So you ain't going to believe it. Though I go through situations, as long as the Word be with me, you ain't going to believe who with me. One just like the Son of Man. You look at you might look at me, I don't see it, but guess what? That word is right here. That word is always with me. His word has guided my footsteps. So if his word is a light unto my path and a lamp unto my feet, that means wherever I'm going, guess what? Guess what he is? He right there. That's why we can't afford to falter and gamble with our souls, because guess what? As soon as I go contrary to him, he's no longer with me. So now that's how situations and circumstances overtake me. The only way sin could overtake me is because I'm not with him. The only way it could overtake me if I'm with him is he's stronger. And if sin is stronger than him. And that's not possible. He is the Almighty. He is the Adon of Adonai. Come on.
And Yahushua HaMashiach, whom you have Shalom. I are you on the Arats. I have completed your work. So I
completed the work that you've given me. You done put this work in my hands. That's one of the things when preacher first made me a minister. That's one of the things that I earnestly applaud for. I said, I want to make sure that I do the work to save everything he put in my hands. I want to make sure that I had the testimony of Yahusha that done those that you gave me, I've lost none except the been of perdition, except those that were already predestined to go to ruin, where I couldn't have saved you no way. I truly want to make sure that I do a work where everybody that he gives an opportunity to be able to hear the word, it gives an opportunity you can honestly be saved based upon what you hear. Yes, and if you don't hold to what you hear, your condemnation is going to be because you were already born to ruin anyway. It's not going to be a similitude or a testimony that the word can't do what it say. It's going to be a testimony that you had the opportunity to hear the word and you refused the word. So in exchange, he refused you. Jump down and get me the 13th chapter, 13th verse, Aki Chris.
Yes, sir.
Listen.
Now, behold, I come to you, and I am speaking these in the alarm. I'm speaking these things in the alarm, so that they may have my susha fulfilled within them. I have given them your debar.
Don't you know that until he had actually fulfilled it out, they couldn't have had the true shusha? They couldn't have had the true joy of knowing that Yahuwah would really be with them, that Yahuwah would really keep them until they're able to see it be fulfilled. So what they're waiting on, I believe it, but I'm waiting on the fulfillment of it. It's one thing to believe it. That's what amunah. Amunah is a belief of something. But when I know it, I'm not necessarily believing it based upon, I believe it based upon evidence. I know these things for a fact. We hold these things to be self-evident. Once I see it in front of my face, I don't necessarily believe it. I know it. Belief is something that you get based upon evidence, based upon experience. But once I see it firsthand, I know these things without a shadow of doubt. I can't be moved from it. Come on.
I have given them your debar, but the alarm hates them.
The alarm hates them.
Since they are not of the alarm.
Why you think he would cast them into the fire when they didn't bow down? Because I hate you. I hate you because you don't do what I do. You don't do what I tell you to do. Why do you think sin is literally an adversary of you as long as you're doing what Yahuwah told you to do? So much so, guess what Satan and his Shadim decided to do? They made war in Shamayim. You know why? Because it's a natural adversary of right is wrong. So naturally, they try to come in and fight against it. Don't you know that sin's going to keep trying to come against you? Keep trying to fight against you? Sin deceived itself so much. Satan, his Shadim, they thought they were going to fight against Yahuwah, his Malakim. It couldn't work. You couldn't have no power against it. I'm going to tell you something, right? I'm going to give you a similitude. As crazy as it is for Satan and his Shadim, his little demons, his little demonites, to think that they had the power to be able to overcome Yahuwah and his Malakim, that's how crazy it would be for sin to think it can overtake you if you be with Yahuwah. That's how crazy it is. It was no way in the world that they could beat him because he was the Most High. It's no way that sin can overtake you if you be with the Most High. That's how simple. That's why he give us these things through the writers so that we can take the understanding of that. A lot of times we think, it's like, well, what I'm gonna do? I ain't no preacher. You know what I'm saying? I can't quote everything. You ain't gotta quote it. Live by it. When you hear it, what do you do? That's all you gotta do. When I hear the word and the word tell me to do something, do that. It's that easy. He has eternal life to know him. Guess what? How do I take knowledge of him? Through the word, through whatsoever things were need could tell before time, because they were written to show us how to be like who? Yahuah and Yahusha. The only way I can be like him is to do what? To learn about him. So every time I'm hearing the word, that's giving me an opportunity to be just like him, to take on the similitude of him. So now when you see me, you see him. Because we're the same one. So you know what? Every time you see me, based upon me doing the things of the word, guess who it's like I'm like? I'm just like the Son of Man because he with me. He's with me through the word. Come on.
Just as also I am not of the alarm.
Just like I'm not of the alarm. Come on. They didn't bow down because I'm not bowing down. If they didn't bow down to sin, I ain't bowing down to sin. Just because I saw how he worked for them, I'm believing he'll work for me the exact same way. I'm believing if I put my confidence in this man, that he will deliver me despite whatever it is that might try to come against me, despite however dangerous and however bad it feels and it looks in the midst of the situation. I know that he can deliver me through it all. I put my full and total confidence in him. And the only way he's going to work for any one of us, we got to do the exact same thing. Come on.
I shall not implore you that you take them from the alarm, but only that you would guard them from what is Rosh.
You ain't gonna believe it. You know what they could have did based upon their almanac. You know what? Hypothetically speaking, they could have just planned and said, you know what, Yahuah, do this for us. Just make it where, we don't even get thrown in the fire. That's not good enough. You know why? Because that'll just look like, oh yeah, you escaped. You tried to hide yourself like you're scared. But when I go through, guess what happened? Come on.
They are not from the alarm.
Read that, the 17th, the 14th chapter, 14th verse?
It's 15.
Read 14 again. Listen.
You mean, I shall not implore you that you take them from the alarm.
He didn't just say, you know what, let me take them out of the fire. Let me keep them from the fire. But what did he do?
But only that you would guard them from what is Rosh.
But only that you would guard them from the evil, that you keep them from the evil. So that meant throughout, whatever I go through, whoever I'm around, whoever I'm surrounded with, because they were surrounded by the fire. So even when I'm surrounded by the Rosh men, even when I'm surrounded by the wicked, those deserving to be burnt up by the fire, guess what? I don't have to be like them. I don't have to be overtaken. I don't have to lose my Sadiq, lose my righteousness so I can fit in with the Rosh. I don't have to lose my estate so I can fit in with the fire. That's what he's trying to get us to be able to understand right now. You can be in the world, but not of the world. That's right. And that's the thing. In order for him to work for us, we have to be in the world, but not of the world. We got to be of him. Come on.
They are not from the alarm, just as also I am not from the alarm.
They not of this place, just like I'm not. Come on.
Kodash them with your amat.
Kodash them through who?
With your amat.
Kodash them through your amat. You know what? It's almost like, if you know the amat shall make you free. It's almost like through me learning the word, that's how I overcome situations that try to bound me in. It's almost like that's how I escape the situations that try to come against me, by knowing the word. Come on.
Your debar is amat.
Your word is the amat. That's the amat that we got to learn. Learn his word. That's why we keep coming in and hearing the word. And the thing is, unless we really get a desire for him, then how are we going to keep getting delivered from our situations? We allow our situations to overcome us so much that when we get a chance to get the weapons to be able to escape, guess what happened? I don't even pay attention to that. You know why? Because I'm so stuck on what I'm going through right now. I'm so stuck on, well, you know what? All I got right now is just this fire. Right now I'm in the fire. Maybe when I get out, I'll pay attention again. Maybe when I get out, I'll start to give my servitude again. How am I going to escape if I neglect so great salvation? Which at the first begin to do what? Begin to be spoken by who? By Malachi, and was confirmed to us by what? By them that heard it. Guess what? Every time we hear the word, we get a chance to see so great salvation that we get by knowing the amat. That's why we got to pay attention when we hear the word and get the most what? Most earnest heed, the most serious state of mind. Come on.
That's right.
Just as you have shalak me to the alarm, so I have also shalak them to the alarm.
Just like you sent me, I done sent them. Just like you sent me to be in the world and not be of it, I sent them so that way they could do what? Be in the world and not of it. And you know what they did? They gave us the writings. Their writings were sent to us. Guess why? So we can be in the world and not what? Of it. So that we can be in the world and not what? Of it. So we can be what? in the world, but not what?
Of it.
But not of it. Don't you know that's the reason why we're hearing the word? Don't you know if I allow the word to overtake me, then all the things that he did for them will not work for me. There's no way it can work for me the way it worked for them if I don't do the things that they did. That's the whole purpose of why we get a chance to hear the word. We get a chance to hear the story from the beginning to the end to see if I hold to it just like they did, what will he do for me? Why am I trusting and believing in him? Based upon what? Based upon me seeing what he did for them. And I truly believe that if I do the same thing they did, I'll get the same deliverance that they got. Don't you know that when you hear about the workers of Shadim, the workers of wickedness, if you do the same thing that they got, the same thing that they did, guess what you're going to get?
Same thing they got.
Same thing that they got. That's the whole opportunity. Guess what's set right before you right now? Life and death. What else? Baraka and curses. Didn't what he told you to do?
Choose life and live.
Choose life and live. How do I choose life? By choosing the word. That meant that when I hear the word, that gives me a chance to be able to choose. What am I going to yield to? What am I going to give my servitude to? Am I going to serve him or am I going to serve the world?
Right.
What is the world going to give me? What is the world giving everybody else who's chosen it? It's giving them nothing but death. So that means that when I hear the word, that gives me a chance to be able to choose life.
Yep.
Why would I choose death if I want to live? It wouldn't make sense. It's contradictory to what I'm saying I want. Don't you know that if you say you want life, if you say you want to come here so you can receive life, but I do think it's contradictory to life, then I might as well be gone. My mouth is saying one thing. I'm coming in here, but guess what my actions doing? My actions are saying something else. Based upon what you do, that tells him who you want. Who do you love? Are you for sure? Who do you want? Jump up and get me that 16th chapter of the book of Yukonon. My time failing me. Yukonon, they call it the book of John, chapter 16. Give me verse 32. We're going to wrap it up there. Listen to the book.
Behold, the hour is coming.
Behold, the hour is coming. And what is it?
And has now arrived.
And it's arrived. Don't you know the hour is coming and it's arrived? The hour is here. If the hour had arrived then what time is it now?
Right.
It's even later now. Come on.
When each one shall be scattered to his own bed, you shall abandon me alone. Yet I shall be not alone.
He said, the time gonna come, you're gonna abandon me. You're gonna leave me by myself. But yet what?
Yet I shall be not alone.
He said, but yet I'm not gonna be alone. I'm not gonna be alone. Basically it's gonna look like I'm by myself, depending on who looking. But if you look close enough, you ain't gonna see. You know what you're gonna see? Somebody else with him. Somebody else with him. If Yahuah was with Yahusha when he was abandoned, then why would he not be with us when we seem and feel like we're abandoned? That means that I'm never truly alone because he's always with me. That's what Yahusha's trying to get you to understand. He's giving you a chance to be able to, through his testimony, tell you he always with me. Just like he said he was going to be, he's always with me. Come on.
Because Abi is with me. I have spoken these things to you so that you have shalom in me.
He said, I've spoken these things to you so you should do what?
That you have shalom in me.
Based upon the writings, that's how you're going to get your shalom. If I hadn't told you this, you wouldn't have no shalom. You'd be worried because you'll think when you're alone that you really are alone. But based upon you knowing that even me, I'll have a situation where it look like nobody's with me. And yet he'll be with me. So that meant that he'll do the same thing for you. When you feel like you might be by yourself, when others might look at you, say you by yourself, you're not alone because he's with you. Just like he was with me. Come on.
You have trouble in the alarm.
He said, you got what?
Trouble in the alarm.
Everything gonna be good for you.
You have trouble.
It's all gonna work out.
Trouble.
You gonna have trouble in the alarm. But what he told us to do?
But let your law be brave.
Let your law be brave. He said he was gonna cast them into the fire, but guess what? Their law was brave. Their hearts did not faint. Their hearts did not fail them. You know why? Because their hearts were holding on to what they heard through the word. But their hearts were holding on to their amunah based upon their belief. Come on.
I have overcome the alarm.
He said, do what?
I have overcome the alarm.
He said, I've overcome the fire. He said, I've overcome everything they tried to put me through. Every situation, every test that they're throwing at me, I've overcome it. Right. So guess what? That meant that you might have a test that you might have to go through, right? And you might feel like naturally, you don't have the strength, you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the power to be able to overcome it. Guess what you're going to need? I'm going to need him. Why would I need him, Lee? Read it again for me. Read that. What's that? Verse 33. Listen to the book.
Yes, sir. I have spoken these things to you so that you have shalom in me.
So that you have shalom in what?
In me.
In me, in him. So that means if I don't have him, what I got? I got nothing. You got no shalom. You got chaos. Come on.
You have trouble in the alarm.
You got trouble in this alarm. He said, in me you got shalom. But guess what you got in the alarm? In the world.
Trouble.
Trouble. Trouble.
Yep.
Come on.
But let your law be brave.
But let your law be brave. Why?
I have overcome the alarm.
Because he has overcome the alarm. If I be with him and he be with me, it's nothing that can overtake me. If you be with him and he be in you, it's nothing that can overtake you. You know why? Because he overcame the alarm.
That's right.
Who's going to try to come against you? The alarm. So guess what? He overcame the alarm, and the world couldn't overtake him. Guess what the world can't do to you?
Overtake you.
It couldn't overtake you. That's why you got to make sure you have them. Appreciate your time.
Yes, sir.
I do Yahuah.
All right.
You are listening to Dr. Evie.